Have you ever thought about a city just stopping? One minute it's bustling and alive, and the next, it's frozen solid in time. It's a crazy idea, right? But that's exactly what happened at Pompeii. It's a story about a catastrophe so huge that it didn't just destroy a civilization, it also preserved it perfectly for us to find thousands of years later. And that really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? It's a total paradox. How can the absolute worst thing that ever happened to a city also be the greatest gift it could ever give to history? I mean, how can an event that wiped out thousands of people also give us the clearest possible window into their world? Well, let's dive in and see if we can unpack that.
Okay, so before we get to the tragedy, we really have to understand what was lost. Let's just step back in time for a second. Try to forget about the ash and the ruins. Let's imagine walking the streets of Pompeii when it was still a vibrant, thriving Roman city.
So back in 79 AD, Pompeii was, a real gem of the Roman Empire. It's right there near modern-day Naples, and it was a total hub of activity. Just try to picture it. The sounds of packed markets, the sight of these incredible, luxurious villas with beautiful art on the walls, the sheer energy of a society at its absolute peak. This wasn't just some town on a map. It was home. It was full of people, families, dreams, and just everyday life.
And then, on one single day, August 24th, 79 AD, all of that life just went silent. The mountain that loomed over the city, Mount Vesuvius, a peak that had been quiet for as long as anyone could remember, was about to wake up and unleash absolute fury.
And here's the really tragic part. There were warnings. The ground was shaking. But see, earthquakes were pretty common in that region. They were just a part of life. So people saw these tremors as, an annoyance, not a sign that their world was about to end. They had no idea this was the final countdown. The day just spiraled into total chaos. Around noon, Vesuvius exploded with this unimaginable force, blasting a mushroom cloud of ash and gas miles up into the sky. It turned day into night. Then, this strange rain started, pumice stone. It sounds light, but it was heavy enough to make roofs collapse, trapping people inside their own homes. And believe it or not, that wasn't even the worst part. The deadliest blow was still on its way. This is what sealed Pompeii's fate, the pyroclastic surge. So forget everything you think about falling ash. This was a ground-hugging avalanche of superheated gas and rock, moving at hurricane speeds. And the temperatures were just insane. So hot that death was instantaneous. There was nowhere to run, no way to escape it. The human toll was just staggering. We'll probably never know the exact number, but the best estimates say that over 2,000 people died. An entire city's population just gone in a matter of hours.
And when the eruption finally stopped, the chaos was replaced by this really eerie silence. Pompeii, which had been so full of life just a day before, had been completely wiped off the map, buried under a thick blanket of volcanic ash and rock.
And for centuries, that's exactly how it stayed. The city didn't just disappear from sight. It disappeared from memory. It just laid there, perfectly undisturbed, a lost world sealed away from time, waiting under all that hardened ash.
But of course, the story doesn't end there. After almost 1,700 years of silence, the lost city was found. And this started a whole new chapter, one of awe and discovery, and one that's still being written today.
So get this, in the 18th century, some workers were digging a canal, and they accidentally hit a wall. And then another. They had no idea what they'd found. They had literally stumbled upon the lost city of Pompeii, kicking off one of the most incredible archaeological projects in all of human history. And this brings us right back to that paradox we talked about. It's wild, right? On one hand, the ash was heavy enough to collapse roofs. But on the other hand, it also filled the buildings, protecting everything inside. It cut off all the oxygen, which stopped any kind of decay. So the very same event that took thousands of lives also perfectly preserved the vibrant paintings on their walls, the tools in their workshops. They've even found loaves of bread still in the ovens. A whole civilization vanished, but in doing so, a perfect snapshot of it was frozen for us to find. But, for all the amazing things they found, the arts, the buildings, the everyday objects, nothing could have prepared the world for the most haunting discovery of all, the one that really, truly told the human story of that day.
So as excavators were digging, they kept finding these weird, empty spaces in the hardened ash. And then one archaeologist had this brilliant, almost unbelievable idea. What if we pour liquid plaster into these holes? The results were absolutely devastating. These weren't just empty spaces, they were the molds left behind by people's bodies after they had decomposed. The plaster casts revealed people frozen in their final, heartbreaking moments. A mother trying to shield her child, lovers holding each other, people curled up trying to protect themselves.
When you think about it, Pompeii is so much more than just a ruin. It's a really powerful reminder of just how fragile our world is. It's a photograph of life developed by the very same force that ended it. And that kind of forces us to ask a question of ourselves, right? If our world, our civilization, was suddenly frozen today, what story would it tell? What would people thousands of years from now find? And what would they think of us?